You ever walk away from a conversation just kicking yourself, thinking you said the absolute wrong thing, or that the whole thing just went completely off the rails? Yeah, we've all been there. But what if I told you there's a simple toolkit, a few key ideas that could make pretty much any conversation you have go better? Okay, let's dive in. So, picture this. Your boss drops an urgent, last-minute report on your desk. For you, maybe you feel that little surge of panic, but you get to work. But your colleague next to you, they completely lose it, slamming things down. Their voice gets sharp, making sure everyone knows how unfair this is. It's the exact same situation, right? But two totally different reactions. So what's the deal? What's the difference between them? Well, the secret to handling moments just like that, and honestly, to improving our communication in general, it doesn't start with what we say to other people. Not at all. It starts inside, with how we manage our own internal state before we even open our mouths. And that brings us to this really core concept, self-regulation. It sounds a little academic, but all it really means is our ability to manage our impulses, our emotional reactions. You can think of it as the foundation, the thing that lets us stay graceful under pressure instead of just letting our emotions hijack the situation. You know, when we get triggered, our bodies often just snap into that fight, flight, or freeze mode automatically. It's a reflex. But, and this is the important part, we can consciously interrupt that cycle. The key is to create just a tiny bit of space, a little gap between the trigger and our reaction. And luckily, there's a simple, really powerful tool for that. It's called the STOP technique. So simple. First, S, just stop. Literally, whatever you're doing, just pause for a second. T, take a breath. A slow, deep, deliberate inhale and exhale. It works wonders on your nervous system. O, observe. Just notice what's going on inside your body and your mind. Is your chest tight? Are your thoughts racing? Don't judge it, just notice it. And finally, P, proceed. Now, with a clearer head, you can choose what you do next. You can respond with intention instead of just reacting on autopilot. Okay, so once we get a handle on our internal state, we gotta look at the external dynamics. A huge, and I mean huge, source of friction in conversations comes from not realizing that different people are basically playing by different rules. Let's look at two really common styles of talking. So on one side, you've got turn takers. These are folks who like orderly exchanges, they wait for a gap, and to them, an interruption is just plain rude. But then, on the other side, you have cooperative overlappers. They'll talk along with you to show they're engaged, that they're excited about what you're saying. So here's the kicker. What one person sees as a rude interruption, another person sees as a sign of connection. And neither style is right or wrong, they're just different. But no matter what your style is, how do you know if you're, talking too much? Here is a brilliant and incredibly simple tool to manage your airtime. It's called the traffic light rule. For the first 20 seconds, your light is green. You're good to go. You're probably being concise, you're on topic, and your listener is right there with you. You're in a great spot. But as you start to push past that 20-second mark, your light turns yellow. Now you're in that 20 to 40-second zone. And let's be real, you're increasing the risk that your listener's mind is starting to drift. This is your cue to start wrapping it up, to look for a place to land the plane. And once you cross that 40-second line, whoa, your light is blazing red. You've now officially entered the monologue danger zone. Seriously, unless you've been asked to give a whole speech, it is almost certainly time to stop and pass the baton to someone else. All right, so we've got a tool for our inner state with STOP, and we've got a tool for managing our airtime with the traffic light. Now for the final piece of the puzzle, a mental filter that connects our self-awareness to our actions. This makes sure that when we do speak, our words actually land with impact. And this tool is another great acronym, WAIT. It stands for a simple but really profound question you should ask yourself before you jump in. Why am I talking? This isn't about being silent all the time. It's about making sure you're speaking with purpose. The WAIT framework breaks down into 3 super quick questions. First, does this really need to be said? At all? Is it actually going to add value? Second, does it need to be said right now? I mean, timing is everything. A great point at the wrong moment can totally derail a conversation. And third, and I think this is the most powerful one, does it need to be said by me? Sometimes the absolute best thing you can do is create space for someone else to say it. This just brilliantly illustrates the power of listening, doesn't it? The legendary interviewer Larry King knew that real learning, real connection, it doesn't come from talking. It comes from creating the space to actually hear what other people have to say. And that mindset is just as critical in your weekly team meeting as it is on a TV talk show. So let's put it all together. When we combine these tools, managing our internal state with STOP, understanding the different conversational styles, managing our airtime with the traffic light rule, and filtering our thoughts with WAIT, we completely transform our communication. We go from being reactive to being impactful, from a simple pause to real power. And trust me, the payoff is huge. This inside-out approach helps you achieve your goals because you're just communicating way more effectively. It helps you build stronger relationships, the kind that are based on real trust and respect. It makes you more resilient when life throws challenges at you. And it creates discussions where everyone actually feels heard, which always leads to better ideas and better outcomes. Ultimately, this whole toolkit just shifts our entire perspective on what a conversation is for. The goal isn't about winning an argument or dominating the room anymore. It's about building a bridge of understanding between people. So, I'll leave you with this one question to chew on. In your meetings this week, in your relationships, in your next tricky conversation, what do you think would change if you consciously chose to listen twice as much as you speak?